Alex Carter's starship descended through the swirling violet clouds of Zithera. From above, the planet looked like a jewel in space, its twin suns reflecting off shimmering rivers that crisscrossed the land. Zithera was known throughout the galaxy for its beauty and for the strict rules of its alien rulers. Humans were rare here, almost like myths, and most were explorers, traders, or adventurers seeking fame. Alex had come on a simple mission: deliver supplies to a research station on the outskirts of the capital city, SciFi-Prime, as his ship touched down at the bustling spaceport. Alex felt the familiar thrill of being in a strange world. The air was thick with scents of alien flora and the hum of advanced technology. Creatures of all shapes moved between the metallic buildings, some walking upright like humans, others crawling or floating. Every corner seemed alive with energy, yet there was an underlying tension. Alex had learned over time that beauty often hid danger. He stepped out of his ship, adjusting the straps of his utility pack. His eyes scanned the crowd. Zitherans were tall, with slender bodies, translucent skin that glimmered faintly, and eyes that could change color depending on emotion. Their movements were graceful, almost hypnotic, but Alex noticed something in the way some of them avoided certain areas: fear as he moved toward the market district. He caught sight of a small alien merchant struggling to defend his stall. A group of rogue aliens larger, more intimidating, with jagged armor, were demanding his goods. The merchant's voice trembled as he tried to reason with them, but it was clear the rogues weren't listening. Alex paused, his instincts kicking in. Humans might not have the natural armor or strength of some alien species, but there was something else: determination. Without thinking, he stepped forward. "Hey!" he shouted, his voice firm but calm. The rogues turned, surprised by the sudden human challenge. One of them laughed, a sound like grinding metal. "This is none of your business, human. Step back." Alex didn't move. He knew that brute strength alone might not win. He studied the terrain: crates, loose wires, hanging banners. He positioned himself with careful footing, ready to react. The rogues charged. What followed was swift and precise. Alex ducked under a swing, rolled across a crate, struck with a combination of punches and quick maneuvers that seemed impossible for someone without enhanced strength. He dodged attacks with fluid motion, using the environment to his advantage. One rogue stumbled over a crate, another was tripped by a dangling banner. Within moments, Alex had neutralized the threatened by killing, but by disabling and outsmarting them. The crowd around him gasped. Some stared in shock, others whispered excitedly. Humans were rare, and one fighting with such courage and skill was almost unheard of. Then he noticed her. In the back of the crowd, partly hidden in shadows, stood a woman. Her skin shimmered like polished silver, her eyes deep and bright, changing colors with every blink. She leaned slightly forward, captivated by Alex's actions. She whispered softly to herself, barely audible over the crowd, "I want him to be mine." Alex didn't see her. He was already helping the merchant pick up scattered goods. The alien man looked at him with awe. You are human?" he asked, disbelief in his voice. "Yes," Alex said simply, brushing dust off his jacket. "And I don't plan on letting anyone bully people here." The merchant shook his head. "We are not used to seeing this. You are extraordinary." Alex smiled faintly. "Just doing what anyone should." He walked through the market, glancing around. The energy here was unlike anything on Earth or Mars. Hovering vendors, floating vehicles, creatures of all shapes mingling, it was chaotic, beautiful, and dangerous all at once. Yet he felt at home. Humans had always adapted to new worlds, faced impossible odds, and found solutions others might miss. As he moved toward the spaceport's central hub, Alex felt eyes on him again. The woman Lyra was still watching. There was a sharpness to her gaze, not just curiosity, but calculation. She noticed how he assessed threats, how he stayed calm when everyone else panicked. She had never seen anything like it. Her people valued strength, intelligence, and grace. But humans were different. They combined courage with creativity, instinct with unpredictability. She felt drawn to him more than she had ever been drawn to anyone. The whisper left her lips again, barely audible. Such spirit. I want him to be mine. Alex approached the research station's transport hub. Several scientists were waiting, their expressions tense. One of them, Dr. Velen, a tall Zithran with pale blue skin, hurried toward him. "Alex Carter?" she asked. "We were not expecting you so soon." "Traffic in the space lanes," he said with a grin. "And maybe a little side adventure in the market." Dr. Velen looked him over. "I heard what you did." "In the market? You fought bare-handed." "Yes," he admitted casually. "Wasn't that hard?" Her eyes widened. You're unlike anyone we've seen. Humans are rare, but you are remarkable." Lex shrugged. "I just know how to handle myself." They moved toward the transport shuttle that would take him to the station. The ride was smooth, but Alex could sense the underlying tension in Dr. Velen's words. Zithera was not a peaceful planet. Rogue factions, political rivalries, territorial disputes made even simple deliveries dangerous. As the shuttle lifted off, Alex stared out the window at the sprawling city below. His mind wandered not to the dangers, but to the thrill of a new world, challenges waiting ahead, and the unexpected eyes that had followed him in the market. There was a spark of excitement. Adventure, after all, was not just about survival, it was about discovery. Lyra watched from her vantage point, high in the city's observation tower. She was silent, yet every movement of Alex fascinated her. She had seen many courageous beings, but humans. Humans were extraordinary in ways her people could not fully understand. The way he moved, the way he thought, even the way he cared for others, it was irresistible. And in that moment, she made a decision. She would find a way to meet him. She would learn about him, and she would make sure he could not leave her world without her knowing him. The whisper escaped again, this time firmer, more determined. "I want him to be mine." Meanwhile, Alex arrived at the station. The shuttle doors opened to reveal a bustling hub of scientists, engineers, and explorers. The station was a mix of Earth technology and Zithran innovation. Screens floated in midair, strange instruments measured environmental readings, and holographic maps displayed sections of the planet he had yet to see. Alex's first task was simple: deliver the supplies. But as he walked through the corridors, he noticed subtle signs of unrest. Locks had been tampered with, messages intercepted, and a tense silence lingered among some of the station's staff. Something was brewing, something beyond the simple delivery he had anticipated. Yet Alex remained calm. Humans had a way of facing uncertainty with courage, and he was no exception. He set down the crates, checked the systems, and even repaired a minor malfunction with tools he carried in his pack. It was routine for him, but the Zitharans watched in awe, and somewhere above, Lyra's eyes followed his every move. She observed not just his skill, but his instinct to help others without hesitation. Every action, every glance, reinforced her fascination. By the end of the day, Alex had not only delivered the supplies, but had made a small impact on the people around him. He had shown bravery, quick thinking, and a calm confidence that was rare on this planet. As night fell over Zithera, the twin suns dipped below the horizon, casting a gentle glow over the city. Alex stood on a balcony of the station, looking at the alien skyline. He felt the weight of the planet's complexity, the challenges ahead, and the adventures waiting just beyond the horizon, and though he did not know it yet, someone else was already planning a path that would intertwine with his. Lyra, hidden in the shadows, made her silent vow once more. "I want him to be mine." The stars above Zithra twinkled, reflecting the start of a story that neither human nor alien would forget. The morning sun rose over Zithera, casting long golden rays across the city. Alex Carter stood on the station balcony, sipping a warm drink that Zithran engineers had offered him. He marveled at the alien architecture towers that seemed to float, bridges that shimmered with light, and gardens that defied gravity. Despite the beauty, a part of him remained alert. Zithra was not a place for careless adventurers. Every corner held the possibility of danger. Every stranger might be a friend or foe. As he finished his drink, a soft sound behind him made him turn. There, Standing in the shadow of a tall, translucent column was the woman from the market, Lyra. Her presence was as striking as the first time he saw her. Her silver skin glimmered in the morning light, and her eyes shifted colors like liquid gemstones. She inclined her head slightly and smiled, but it was not a smile of simple politeness. It was one of curiosity, sharp and deliberate. "Good morning," she said, her voice smooth and melodic. Almost musical, Alex raised an eyebrow, surprised but not startled. "You again," he said with a grin. "I suppose I should be flattered." Lyra stepped closer, moving with a grace that made it clear she was trained in more than diplomacy. "I have been watching you," she admitted. "Your actions yesterday? Humans are rare here, and yet you handled yourself admirably." Alex chuckled. "Handled myself? I just did what anyone should do. You'd be surprised what humans are capable of when they have to." Lyra's eyes flickered with amusement. "Perhaps, but you have a way of facing danger that is unusual, calculated, yet instinctive. Many of my people lack that balance. We rely on power, strength, and control. You rely on something different." Alex tilted his head, intrigued. "Something different? You mean brains over brawn?" She smiled softly. "In a way, but also courage, adaptability, and a willingness to act when others hesitate." There was a pause as Alex considered her words. He had faced countless challenges in his life, from pirates in the asteroid belt to malfunctioning ships on distant moons. But no one had ever observed him so closely, nor with such understanding. "You want to test me?" he asked playfully. Lyra's lips curved. "Perhaps, or perhaps I want to understand why humans are so extraordinary." She gestured to a small garden terrace that overlooked the city's central plaza. "Walk with me," she said. Alex followed, curious. The terrace was filled with alien plants that glowed faintly, their petals moving as if alive. Birds with translucent wings flitted above, and fountains of liquid light reflected colors and patterns that seemed to respond to the wind. "I've never seen anything like this on Earth," Alex said, eyes wide with wonder. "You people really know how to design a city." Lyra laughed softly. "We appreciate beauty, yes, but we also value discipline. Order keeps chaos at bay. Yet even here there are cracks. Rogue factions, hidden schemes. You witnessed one of them yesterday." Alex's eyes narrowed slightly. "I noticed. They seemed organized but reckless. I wonder what they want." Lyra studied him carefully. "They want control. They seek advantage. And they fear humans." Alex laughed again. "Fear humans? That's new." Lyra tilted her head, watching him intently. "Yes, they fear what they cannot predict. And you are unpredictable." Alex shrugged modestly. "I just react to what's in front of me. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. But I don't like leaving people in danger if I can help it." Lyra's expression softened. She could see the honesty in him, the human blend of courage and compassion. She had studied many beings, yet Alex was unlike any she had encountered. She felt a strange Pula combination of admiration and desire to know him better. They walked in silence for a few minutes, the only sound, the gentle rustle of the glowing plants. Then Lyra spoke again. "You are far from home, Alex Carter. Do you ever wonder why humans survive in the galaxy, despite being so few and fragile compared to other species?" Alex considered the question. "I suppose it's because humans adapt. We think on our feet, we learn quickly, and we care about each other. Survival isn't just about strength, it's about heart." Lyra's eyes glimmered. "Heart. Yes. That is something my people often overlook. We rely on tradition, rules, and strength. But humans have a different kind of power." Alex smiled faintly. "Maybe that's why you're watching me so closely." Lyra's lips curved into a mysterious smile. Perhaps I am looking for something I do not yet understand." At that moment, the ground beneath them trembled slightly. Alarms rang throughout the city. Alex's instincts kicked in immediately. "What's happening?" he asked, eyes scanning the horizon. Lyra's expression turned serious. Rogue factions. They're attempting another attack. Likely near the research station. Alex didn't hesitate. Then we go help. Lyra raised an eyebrow. Alone? Alex shook his head. Not alone. Together. The two of them moved swiftly through the city, navigating crowded streets and leaping over low barriers with ease. Alex marveled at Lyra's agility. She was not just noble. She was trained in combat and strategy. Yet what fascinated him most was her calm and precise thinking under pressure. Humans had instinct. But she had a calculated grace that was rare even among humans. When they reached the station, they found chaos. Scientists were rushing to secure equipment, while security drones attempted to intercept rogue attackers approaching from multiple directions. Alex took in the scene quickly, analyzing weak points and opportunities. We need to secure the entrances, he said, pointing to the docking bays. Then we can guide the staff to safe areas. Lyra nodded, her voice firm. Agreed. I will coordinate the station defenses. Together, they moved like a well-practiced team. Alex directed the humans and Zithran staff, improvising traps and barriers using the station's own equipment. Lyra coordinated defensive protocols, manipulating holographic controls and redirecting drones with efficiency. Their teamwork was seamless, built on mutual respect and complementary skills. During the brief lull, Lyra glanced at Alex, her eyes softening. You are remarkable. Not just in combat, but in how you lead. Humans possess a rare combination of courage and wisdom. Alex shrugged, modest as ever. I just do what needs to be done. Nothing more. But Lyra could see the human spirit shining through every action. She felt a connection forming, an invisible thread linking their fates. The whisper returned in her mind, firmer and more certain than ever. I want him to be mine. As the rogue attackers regrouped, preparing for another strike, Alex readied himself. Looks like the fun isn't over yet, he said with a grin. Lyra's eyes sparkled. No, and I would not have it any other way. Together, they prepared to face the challenge, their skills and instincts complementing one another. In that moment, the beginnings of a partnership and perhaps something deeper were formed. Humans might be rare on Zithera, but Alex Carter had proven that one human could make a difference that none of the aliens could ignore. As the sun climbed higher in Zithera's sky, casting brilliant light over the city, the stage was set for adventure, danger, and discovery. And in the midst of it all, Lyra could not shake her growing fascination and desire for the human who had captured her attention with courage, heart, and spirit. The morning glow of Zithora's twin suns barely warmed the city before alarms sounded throughout the research station. Alex Carter had barely finished his breakfast when the warning lights flashed, casting red streaks across the walls. He froze for only a moment, then instinctively moved toward the source of the danger. Lyra appeared beside him, moving like liquid silver, her eyes sharp with focus. They found another route into the station, she said. Rogue factions. More organized this time. They're testing our defenses. Alex nodded. Then let's make sure they don't succeed. The two moved swiftly, weaving through the station's corridors. Alex's human instincts guided him as he assessed the situation. Security drones hovered lazily near the entry points, their programming too slow to match his speed. He quickly calculated the weak spot stores with warn locks, maintenance hatches, and areas where the station's defenses were thin. They'll try the docking bay first, Alex said. I can set up barriers, but I'll need help to divert them. Lyra's lips curved into a small smile. I will coordinate the drones and station staff. You handle the front. Without hesitation, Alex moved to the docking bay. He improvised quickly, using crates, cables, and spare equipment to create obstacles. He pulled a power conduit from the wall and rigged it to emit a brief, blinding pulse of light when the attackers passed. Knowing it would give him just enough time to act, the first group of rogues arrived, a wave of armored figures, their weapons bristling. Alex stepped forward, bare-handed, and held his ground. They laughed, expecting an easy fight. They were wrong. Alex ducked under a swinging weapon, rolled across the floor, and pushed a rogue into a stack of crates. He used his agility and precise strikes to disable them. avoiding lethal force but rendering each one incapable of continuing the attack. The others hesitated, surprised by his audacity and skill. From the upper balcony, Lyra directed drones with a wave of her hand. Holographic displays flashed, guiding automated defenses to intercept the rogues. The attackers' coordination faltered. They hadn't anticipated such resistance, not from a single human. Alex's mind raced. He set up a few more traps, improvising with wires and loose panels. Each move was calculated but instinctive. He moved faster than the eye could follow, dodging, striking, and disarming. The rogues were relentless, but Alex's courage and adaptability kept him one step ahead. In a tense moment, one rogue lunged at him from behind. Alex rolled just in time, using the attacker's momentum to throw him into a reinforced door. The impact sent a shockwave through the corridor, but Alex was unharmed. He stood, breathing steadily, ready for the next wave. Lyra observed silently from above. Her admiration for him grew with every move. Not only was he strong, but he remained calm, precise, and compassionate. Each of his actions minimized harm while maximizing effectiveness, a combination that was rare among her people. "You're remarkable," she murmured to herself as the battle continued. Alex noticed a group of young Zithran trainees hiding behind equipment. Without hesitation, he ran to their side. "Stay down," he shouted. Then he positioned himself between them and the attackers, using his body and quick thinking to protect them. He guided the trainees to safer cover, instructing them calmly on what to do. Lyra's eyes widened in surprise and admiration. Humans had a courage that was more than physical, it was moral. They risked themselves not only to fight, but to protect others. She had seen warriors before, but none like him. Suddenly, the rogue leader appeared. He was larger, more imposing, and his armor gleamed with a menacing black sheen. He had studied Alex's previous movements and moved with calculated precision. Aiming to end the fight quickly, Alex faced him without hesitation. His hands were bare, but his mind was sharp. He dodged a strike, parried another, and used the environment to his advantage. Turning crates and cables into defensive tools, the leader swung again. But Alex's instincts guided him. He blocked, sidestepped, and pushed the attacker into a suspended platform, sending him crashing safely into a pile of crates. Lyra watched, astonished by his courage. She had never seen anyone face such danger with such poise. Her fascination deepened, and with it, a desire to be close to him, to understand him fully. After several more intense minutes, the remaining rogues realized they were outmatched. They retreated, disappearing into the corridors of the station. The alarms finally silenced. Leaving only the hum of machinery and the faint scent of burned circuits, Alex lowered himself onto a crate. Breathing heavily, but with a satisfied grin. "That should do it," he said. For now, Lyra descended the stairs gracefully, her eyes locked on him. "You risked yourself for others," she said softly. "Not just for the station, but for those trainees. That is rare." Alex shrugged. "Someone had to do it." "It's the right thing." Lyra studied him. "It is more than right. It is extraordinary. Humans have a way of facing danger that is unlike anything I've seen." Alex smiled faintly. "I suppose that's why you're so interested." Her lips curved into a small, mysterious smile. "Perhaps. Or perhaps I am drawn to what I do not understand." Alex's attention returned to the station. "We need to make sure they don't come back. I can set more defenses, but we need intelligence. Do you have any insight on them?" Lyra nodded. "They are not mindless. They plan, they observe, they adapt. But they underestimate humans. And they underestimate you." Alex looked at her. "Underestimate me, huh? I guess that works in our favor." Together, they moved through the station, inspecting key points and reinforcing defenses. Alex's approach was instinctive, improvising solutions with whatever was at hand. Lyra's approach was precise, coordinating resources and anticipating moves. Together, they complemented each other perfectly. Human instinct meeting alien strategy by midday. The station was secure, and the staff breathed a collective sigh of relief. Alex had not only defeated the attackers, but inspired the Zitherans to act with courage and confidence. Lyra stood beside him, her eyes reflecting admiration and something more, something personal. "You are different," she said softly. Alex glanced at her. "Different good or different bad?" he asked with a grin. She hesitated, then smiled. "Different. Extraordinary." They walked through the station's central hub, passing scientists who whispered in awe about the human who had fought bare-handed against the rogues. Alex remained modest, but Lyra noticed how his humility made him even more remarkable. Later, as they stood on a balcony overlooking the city, Lyra spoke again. "You have changed how I see humans. They are not just rare, they are powerful, not in brute force, but in spirit, in courage, in compassion." Alex smiled, watching the bustling city below. "Humans adapt. We survive. We protect. That's all we know. It's what makes us human." Lyra's gaze lingered on him. Her admiration had deepened into something more, an undeniable pull she could not ignore. She knew her fascination had grown into desire, but it was more than attraction. It was respect, trust, and recognition of the human spirit. The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting warm light over the city. Alex and Lyra stood together in companionable silence, both aware of the bond forming between them. Bond born of battle, trust, and shared admiration. Alex finally spoke. "I suppose this is just the beginning. If they come back, we'll be ready." Lyra's lips curved into a confident smile. "Yes, together, we will be ready. And perhaps more than ready." As the twin suns set over Zithera, the city shimmered with life and possibility. Alex had proven the strength, courage, and ingenuity of humanity in a world that had never seen it before. And Lyra, watching him closely, knew one thing with certainty. She wanted him in her life, not just as an ally, but as someone extraordinary in every way. The night promised more challenges, more dangers, and more discoveries. But for now, human courage had shone brightly, and a connection had been forged, one that neither human nor alien could ignore. The city of Zithera glowed under the soft light of its twin moons, casting long silver shadows over the streets and towers. Inside the research station, the quiet hum of machinery filled the air, a calm that contrasted sharply with the chaos of the day before. Alex Carter moved through the corridors, checking on supplies and speaking with the staff, ensuring everything was in order. Yet even amidst routine tasks, he felt a presence of quiet, observant energy that had followed him since the market. Lyra appeared at the doorway of the lab, her silver skin catching the light. She approached him with a measured grace, her eyes reflecting concern and something deeper. "Alex," she said softly, "may I speak with you?" Alex looked up from the equipment he was examining. "Of course," he replied. "Where do you want to go?" Lyra gestured toward a private observation chamber. It was a place few outsiders were allowed, a serene room with walls of transparent crystal, giving a full view of the city below. Gardens floated outside, and soft glowing lights moved along the pathways, illuminating the alien flora. Alex followed her, curiosity piqued. Once inside, Lyra closed the door behind them. She studied him for a moment, her eyes searching his face. "You impressed me," she began. "Not only with your strength, but with your courage, your mind, and the way you act without hesitation. You do not fight for pride, but for what is right." Alex leaned against a console, a faint smile on his face. "I don't think I'm extraordinary. I just do what I can. Humans survive because we try and we care." "That's it," Lyra shook her head, stepping closer. "It is more than that. It is rare. Most beings rely on rules, power, or strength. But you combine instinct with reason, courage with compassion. You make choices that inspire others. That is why I am here." Alex blinked, slightly taken aback. "Here, because of me?" "Yes," she admitted, her voice softer. "I wanted to understand humans. I wanted to see if the stories were true, and you are more than I expected." There was a pause as Alex considered her words. Humans were known across the galaxy for adaptability. But admiration from a Zithran noble, someone of her status and training, was something entirely different. He felt a sense of pride, but remained humble. "Thank you," he said finally. "I'm glad I could show what humans are capable of." Lyra studied him, her gaze intense. "Alex, there is more. My people, some of them do not approve of your presence. They see humans as weak, unpredictable, and dangerous. And yet I see you as strong, remarkable, even necessary." Alex frowned slightly. "Necessary? How?" Lyra stepped closer, her silver fingers brushing lightly against the console. "Because humans remind us of what we often forget. Courage, compassion, quick thinking qualities that can change the outcome of any battle, any conflict, any life. You are proof that one being can make a difference." Alex looked at her, feeling the weight of her words. He had faced rogues, navigated dangerous streets, and protected Zithran trainees, but her perspective added depth. It wasn't just about survival, it was about inspiring others, proving the value of courage and morality. "And there's something else," Lyra continued, her voice dropping to a whisper. "I admire you. More than I expected. Your spirit. It is unlike anything I've ever known." Alex's breath caught slightly. He had sensed her fascination, but hearing it spoken aloud was different. "Lyra, He paused, unsure how to respond. She smiled faintly. "Do not speak yet. I want you to understand me first." She motioned for him to sit in a nearby chair. "I have duties, responsibilities. My position is one of influence. And yet, I find myself thinking of you, of your courage, of your actions. You have changed the way I see my own world." Alex took a deep breath. "You're saying, you care?" "Yes," she said simply, her eyes locking onto his. "I care. And more than that, I want to be near you, to know you, to protect you if necessary, and perhaps to share more than just admiration." Alex studied her, feeling a mixture of surprise and warmth. He had faced danger, navigated political intrigue, and seen many worlds. But nothing had prepared him for this alien noble expressing genuine admiration and desire. "I've never met anyone like you," he admitted. "Not human, not alien, you. You make me feel like I'm part of something bigger." Lyra's lips curved into a small, knowing smile. "And you are. That is why I am here. That is why I wish to be near you." For a moment, silence filled the room, broken only by the soft hum of the station's systems. Alex realized the depth of her feelings and the sincerity behind them. He could see it in her eyes, her posture, and the quiet intensity in her voice. She was not acting out of impulse or desire for power. She genuinely valued him. But just as Alex was about to respond, the observation screen lit up with an urgent alert. A holographic map of the city appeared, showing a rogue faction moving closer to the station. Using hidden routes Alex had not anticipated, Alex immediately stood, his focus returning to the threat. "Looks like they're not done yet." Lyra's eyes hardened. "We must prepare. They will not underestimate you a second time." The two worked quickly. Alex set up additional defenses, improvising with tools and materials around the station. Lyra coordinated drones, redirected power flows, and reassured the staff. Their teamwork was seamless, combining human intuition with Zithran strategy. During the preparations, Alex noticed Lyra watching him closely, her eyes filled with concern and admiration. He understood in that moment that she was more than an observer, she was a partner, and perhaps something more. The rogue attackers arrived, attempting a coordinated assault on multiple points of the station. Alex faced them head-on, using his bare hands, quick reflexes, and clever strategies to disable their progress. Lyra guided defenses from above, ensuring that every move was precise and effective. One rogue leader tried to capture a group of trainees hiding in the lower halls. Alex acted instantly, throwing a heavy cable to trip the leader and pulling the trainees to safety. Lyra intervened with drones, stunning other attackers and creating a safe path for the station staff. After a tense series of encounters, the attackers were finally driven away. The station was secure once more. Alex and Lyra stood together on a balcony, overlooking the quiet city below. "You are extraordinary," Lyra said softly, her voice carrying more emotion than before. "Not just for humans, but for anyone. I see now why my fascination turned into something deeper. I care for you, Alex, more than I have ever cared for anyone." Alex looked at her, feeling a warmth that went beyond admiration. "Lyra, I feel it too. I didn't expect this, but I want to be near you as well. I want to learn, to understand, and maybe share in your world." Lyra's eyes sparkled. "Then you have my trust, and perhaps more." The moment was quiet, intimate, and charged with emotion. Alex realized that their connection went beyond admiration and survival. It was mutual respect, trust, and an emerging bond neither human nor alien could ignore, as the twin moons rose high over Zithera. Casting silver light across the city, Alex and Lyra stood together, united not only by the battles they had fought, but by the understanding and trust they had built in the distance. Subtle shadows hinted at future challenges, political intrigue, and rogue threats. Yet for now, human courage and Zitheran wisdom had prevailed. And in the quiet aftermath, a new chapter of connection, trust, and perhaps love began to unfold between a human and a noble alien, proof that courage and spirit could bridge worlds. The twin suns of Zithera began to rise, casting soft golden light across the city. The calm of morning was deceptive. Alex Carter had learned from experience that danger often waited behind peace. And today was no exception. From the observation deck of the research station, Lyra scanned the city with a holographic map. "They've returned," she said quietly. "The rogue noble. He is not alone. He has gathered more supporters, and he intends to capture you." Alex's eyes narrowed. "Capture me? For what?" Lyra's lips pressed together. "To manipulate me. To force my cooperation. To control the station, the city, and me." Alex's jaw tightened. Humans had faced many threats, but the stakes here were higher. This was not just about survival. It was about protecting an entire world and someone he cared for. "I won't let that happen. Not while I can fight." Lyra studied him, her expression softening. "I trust you, Alex, but this will not be easy. He knows us, he knows the station, and he has power." Alex nodded. "Then we make our own rules. Together." The two of them prepared for what was coming. Alex checked his improvised weapons, his bare hands ready for combat if necessary. Lyra coordinated drones, powered up defensive shields, and issued quiet instructions to the staff. Every move was precise, every action calculated. The rogue noble and his supporters arrived at the station in a convoy of sleek, dark ships. Their plan was simple: land, overwhelm the defenses, and capture Alex. But humans were rarely predictable, and Alex had a mind that thrived in chaos. The first wave landed near the docking bay. Alex moved swiftly, using the terrain to his advantage. Loose panels, cables, and crates became obstacles and traps. He dodged and countered, striking with precision that stunned the attackers. Each movement demonstrated human ingenuity, fast, creative, effective without unnecessary harm. Lyra guided drones from above, providing cover and stunning attackers at critical moments. She watched Alex closely, admiration and trust growing with each decision he made. He was not just strong. He was clever, fearless, and protective. Every action showed why she had chosen to value him so deeply. One of the rogue nobles tried to approach Alex directly, weapons raised. Alex saw him coming, reacted instantly, and used a suspended crate to knock the attacker off balance. The noble crashed into a wall, unharmed but incapacitated. Alex extended a hand to help him up, a human instinct to preserve life even in conflict. Lyra's eyes softened. "You are extraordinary, not just in strength, but in spirit." Alex nodded briefly, not taking his attention off the attackers. I do what I can. Always. The battle escalated. The rogue noble, realizing brute force would fail, tried a direct assault on Lyra. Alex reacted instantly, intercepting him with a combination of agility and calculated force. Lyra used her drones to restrain the attackers, working in perfect synchrony with Alex. In a critical moment, the noble attempted to breach the station's core systems, aiming to disable defenses. Alex lunged, intercepting him with a maneuver that was both daring and precise. He used his body and the environment to his advantage, preventing any harm to Lyra or the station. The rogue leader struggled, frustrated by Alex's unpredictability. He was strong, experienced, and calculated, but Alex's combination of instinct, courage, and ingenuity was unmatched. Within moments, the leader was incapacitated, leaving the remaining supporters disoriented and without direction. Lyra descended from the control balcony, moving to Alex's side. "You saved us all," she said softly, awe in her voice. Again, Alex glanced at her, brushing a strand of hair from his face. "We did it together. I couldn't have done this without you." Rogue forces retreated. Realizing they could not succeed against a team like Alex and Lyra, the station was secure. The city safe, and the immediate threat neutralized. After the battle, the city council arrived, expressing gratitude and admiration. Zithrans who had doubted humans now saw firsthand the courage, ingenuity, and moral strength of a single human. Alex had become not just a protector, but an inspiration. Lyra guided him to a quiet balcony overlooking the city. The twin suns were rising fully now, bathing the city in golden light. She turned to him, eyes earnest and shining. "Alex, you have proven not only your courage, but your heart. I must ask you something. Choice. You can return to your world, to your people. Or you can stay here with me, with Zithera, and share in our life. The choice is yours." Lex's mind raced. He thought of Earth, of his life there, and of the adventures that had brought him across the galaxy. But he also thought of Zithera, the people he had helped, and the bond he had forged with Lyra. This was more than admiration. It was connection, trust, and a sense of purpose he had never felt before. "I want to stay," he said finally, his voice firm. "I want to help, to protect, and to be with you. Not because I have to, but because I choose to." Lyra's lips curved into a relieved, radiant smile. "Then you are welcome here. Truly." They stood together, watching the city awaken beneath the rising suns. The battles, the dangers, and the threats had tested them both, but they had prevailed. Alex's human courage, ingenuity, and compassion had not only saved lives, but had inspired trust, respect, and admiration from an alien civilization. Lyra reached for his hand and Alex took it. The simple gesture held more meaning than words. It was trust, connection, and the beginning of a shared journey as the day unfolded. The station staff celebrated, grateful for their survival and for the bravery they had witnessed. Humans had always been rare on Zithera, but Alex Carter had proven that one human could change the course of events. Not through power alone, but through heart, courage, and quick thinking. Lyra led Alex through the city, introducing him to the council and other influential figures. They listened intently as he explained his strategies, decisions, and philosophy. His perspective, the combination of instinct, morality, and problem-solving, resonated deeply with the Zithrans. They saw the value not only of his actions, but of his humanity. Later, Lyra brought Alex to a quiet garden terrace overlooking the floating gardens of the city. The twin suns cast gentle warmth, and the air smelled of alien blossoms. "Alex," she said softly, "you have changed my world. Not just with your strength, but with your spirit. I am glad you chose to stay." Alex looked around, taking in the beauty of Zithera. "I've seen many worlds," he said, "but this feels like home. And being here with you, it feels right." Lyra's eyes glimmered. "Then we will face the future together. Whatever challenges come, we will meet them as a team." Alex smiled, feeling a sense of belonging he had never experienced before. Together, he agreed, as the suns climbed higher. Casting light over Zithra's towers and rivers, a sense of peace settled over the city. For now, the rogue factions had been defeated, political tensions eased, and a new bond had formed between human and alien. Alex's courage and ingenuity had not only ensured survival, but had earned respect, admiration, and something more, trust and connection that transcended worlds. Lyra stood beside him, her hand resting gently on his. "Humans are rare here," she said softly, "but you are extraordinary." Alex chuckled lightly. "I'm just me," he replied, "but I'll take that as a compliment." The city thrived below them, alive with energy, possibility, and hope. Alex knew that challenges would come again, but he also knew that courage, ingenuity, and heart would guide him. And with Lyra by his side, he was ready for anything. The twin suns of Zithra shone brightly, reflecting off the rivers and towers, marking the dawn of a new chapter. A human had arrived and proven that courage, compassion, and determination could bridge worlds. And an alien noble had found in that human not only admiration, but trust, respect, and perhaps the beginnings of something deeper. Together, they faced the future not just as human and alien, but as partners, allies, and friends. The story of Alex Carter and Lyra would become one whispered across Zithra for generations. A story of bravery, connection, and the extraordinary potential of one human heart. And as they stood side by side, looking over the city, Lyra whispered softly, more to herself than to him, "I wanted him to be mine. And now, he is." Alex turned to her, smiling. "Then let's make sure this is just the beginning." The city of Zithra sparkled below them, alive with promise. A human had proven that courage and heart were forces no alien could ignore. And in doing so, Alex Carter had found not only adventure and purpose, but a connection that would change both his world and hers forever.